What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now with Super Showdown less than a week away, what surprises will the WWE have in store for last night's edition of Friday Night Smackdown? Join us now as Wrestlelamia analyzes the 21st February edition of the Blue brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Cody Rhodes being injured, a huge Wrestlemania 36 spoiler, a possible WWE ESPN deal, where was Nikki Cross, AEW trying to sign Jeff Cobb, why Austin Aries was at AEW, and the return of Chyna in action figure form. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. As always, we're not going to recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly of this week's edition of SmackDown. As always, we start off with the good, so number 1, a great build-up. While the idea of Goldberg vs The Fiend is a match that doesn't need much build-up, the WWE did a fantastic job building up their Super Showdown match last night. The fans were happy to see Goldberg, and while The Fiend's appearance in the ring wasn't a surprise, Goldberg's reaction was the big bad Bill countering The Fiend's modus operandi of sneak attacks. While we're confident that Dollar Bill will come up short at Super Showdown, the WWE credited the all-important illusion that Goldberg can defeat The Fiend. There's no need for The Fiend to lose the Universal Championship anytime soon, but there's also no reason why the WWE can't set up things for a Goldberg-Fiend rematch down the road. Number 2, the Otis drama continues. The WWE's romance storyline between Otis and Mandy Rose is getting interesting, especially as the WWE's launched another mystery storyline who texted Otis that Mandy was running late. With any luck, it'll turn out to be better than the Who Tried to Kill Roman Reigns storyline and the even worse Who Texted Kevin Nash text mystery from 2011 SummerSlam. It looks like they may be going with a long-rumored storyline of Sonya Deville trying to woo her tag team partner Mandy Rose. As you may recall, there was talk of doing a lesbian romance angle with Fire and Desire, and that there were grumblings when the WWE instead went with the short-lived Liv Lana romance angle, which was a complete mess. Whatever the WWE's long-term plans are, that's assuming they have one, which all fans know is something that can't be taken for granted, the storyline has been fun so far. Number 3, a moment with Lacey Evans. The WWE took some time to give Lacey Evans a few moments with the fans, reminding them that she's still looking for a women's championship and that she hasn't given up. Sometimes a short promo like this is a better way to feature a wrestler than a meaningless match. Evans has a bright future in the WWE, and giving her this segment was a reminder of the company's confidence in her. Number 4, a fun match. Did we really need to see Elias and Braun Strowman wrestle Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura? Well, not really, but at least the WWE switched things up by making it a goofy gimmick match. Sure, it's unlikely the Symphony of Destruction match is going to become the next Hell in a Cell, but it was a good way to shake things up. Number 5, Naomi gets the win. Carmella's bid for the SmackDown Women's Championship is the kind of short-term storyline that needs to be told on television, not on a big show like Super Showdown or a pay-per-view. While she's good playing a sidekick to R-Truth, her in-ring skills still need some work, and it's doubtful many fans will be interested in seeing another Carmella Women's Championship reign. I don't know, some of you might. But on the other hand, Naomi has the skills and charisma to put on a great match and storyline with Bayley, and rumor has it she's battling the former Hugger at WrestleMania 36. At number 6, a debut or a return. During this week's and last week's show, fans noticed a number of on-screen glitches. It was done during Naomi's entrance and during the opening tag, with a clock with lights coming up on the screen. Now this could be either the return of Mustafa Ali, especially since blue lights are on his mask, or it could be the anticipated debut of Killer Kross. Kross was signed to the WWE with the company announcing it on 4th February episode of WWE Backstage, and it's rumored Triple H was eager to sign Kross, and if Kross bypasses a run in NXT, it's a big sign of the company's faith in him as a performer. Some have also pointed out that it could be the debut of Scarlett Bordeaux, ready to shake up the women's division. Whatever it is, let's hope the WWE doesn't let us down. But that was the good. What about the bad? And there's not much of it, to be fair. As number 1, the Bella Twins confirmed for the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah, we're well aware of the WWE's lax standards for inducting superstars into its Hall of Fame, but do the Bella Twins really need to go in ahead of so many more deserving men and women? As bad as the WWE selecting them is, it was even worse wasting the fans' time seeing them on a moment of bliss. Again, since there wasn't much bad, there was no downright ugly. It was actually a solid show other than the filler match with Daniel Bryan and Heath Slater that did a good job setting the stage for SmackDown's portion of Super Showdown. While we didn't need the 8-man match to open up the show in terms of storyline, it was a fast-paced and exciting match, the kind of match that's good for opening the show. The final segment with Goldberg was well executed and should have fans psyched for their match this Thursday. What did you guys think of SmackDown? Let us know in the comments down below. But that was the good, the bad and the downright ugly of SmackDown. Let's move on to the news as our first story looks at Cody Rhodes being injured. Yep, AEW Revolution is just a week away and the American Nightmare informed his fans he'd broke his toe during his recent steel cage match against Wardlow on Dynamite. Cody took to Instagram saying, "Long way down, small fracture in my big toe, but I'm on a treatment plan with Doc who lives and cleared for action." AEW's Twitter account updated fans as well, saying, as reported by Cody Rhodes on his Instagram account and confirmed by Doc Sampson, due to Cody's foot hitting the mat after landing the moonsault, he has a non-displaced fracture of distal phalanx, right great toe. His status, cleared for attention as tolerated. AEW and Cody both dodged a proverbial bullet as a more serious injury could have cancelled a big match between Rhodes and MJF, arguably the second biggest match of the night. Next up, a huge spoiler for WrestleMania 36. Now if you want to avoid this massive spoiler, check the timestamps in the description to skip ahead to the next story. Have we given you enough time? Well, it seems like Brock Lesnar's reign as WWE Champion will come to an end. And no, we're not looking into a crystal ball, but Dave Meltzer has received news from a source backstage that Vince is extremely high on McIntyre and sees him as a top guy. He mentioned, Vince likes everything about him and thinks he represents the company well when he does media appearances. He looks good and talks good, and that is what Vince is looking for. Drew has already established a relationship with Vince like most top guys do. Now, if WWE truly wants to get WrestleMania right, they'll have The Fiend retain the Universal title and have McIntyre as the new WWE Champion. Next up, Vince taught Rob Van Dam how to protect himself. Now, Vince McMahon gets his well-deserved ration of criticism, but there are stories like the following that show Vince has his kinder, gentler moments. Recently, we noted that Rob Van Dam told Steve Austin how he's had hundreds and hundreds of concussions, and while that's true, Rob Van Dam also discussed how Vince McMahon told him to protect himself. When I first got to WWE, one time I was coming through gorilla position and Vince McMahon said, "When you take those chair shots," he said, "you put your hands up." And I was like, "Nah, that's cool. That's for everybody else, Vince." He said, "No, you listen to me. You put your hands up." I go, "But I do this all the time." He goes, and this is the only time he said anything remotely like this. He goes, "Now listen, I'm your father. I'm telling you to put your hands up." It finally got through and I was like, alright, he's the boss. He's paying me to put my hands up. I think I can do that. The whole effing show appeared on the Steve Austin show to promote his new documentary Headstrong, which deals with Van Dam's concussion issues. Next up, Nikki Cross out sick. If you're wondering why Nikki Cross wasn't with her BFF Alexa Bliss for a moment of bliss with the Bella Twins, well, Nikki's husband Killian Dane noted on his Twitch livestream account that Cross is very ill. There's currently no word on when she'll be back. Next up, WWE Negotiating with ESPN. This week's Wrestling Observer newsletter had an interesting take on reported talks between WWE and ESPN. While there's been no deal that we've been able to confirm, in a story that is logical, there have been talks between ESPN and WWE. These talks would be regarding WWE content on ESPN+. It's likely the deal with WWE is trying to broker, which is a similar deal to UFC where they would sell the rights to their pay-per-views to a new streaming service that would pay for more than WWE could make on its own from selling the content direct to consumers through the WWE network. According to The Observer, the WWE may work out a deal with ESPN's streaming service similar to its deal with UFC. Currently, ESPN Plus charges $4.95 monthly membership and $64.99 to watch individual pay-per-views. It should prove interesting whether fans used to shelling out $9.95 a month for the WWE network will make the jump to ESPN Plus should the deal go through. Would you guys pay that much for pay-per-views? Be sure to leave your comments down below. Next up, why Austin Aries was at AEW Dynamite. A former Ring of Honor and TNA World Heavyweight Champion Austin Aries was at the 19th February episode of AEW Dynamite, but apparently had nothing to do with the 41-year-old grappler getting back into the ring. According to Bodyslams.net's Cassidy Haynes, Aries was there with former wrestler Diamond Dallas Page for a different reason. I was told that the reason he was there was that the two are both part of a stem cell treatment venture that they are trying to get AEW to buy into. Now, we have discussed a number of wrestlers who have resorted to stem cell treatment to combat chronic and nagging injuries, so it makes sense that two former wrestlers might use their experience and name recognition to try and sell such a venture to a wrestling organization, but there are a number of restrictions on what stem cell treatments can be obtained in the United States. And our final story, Chyna returns in action figure form. Now, after inducting Chyna into the WWE Hall of Fame last year, albeit as a member of D-Generation X, it looks like fans can look forward to two new Chyna action figures. Ringside News is reporting that the first official Chyna Mattel figure looks to be an Elite figure. It will also be a 2-pack with Triple H. The 2-pack is priced at $47.99. Are you guys gonna get it? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.